Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Analysis webinar. This week 21 to 25th of May. Hope you all had a wonderful day, rather a wonderful week. I had a great week myself. The charts are looking clearer and clearer this week, so we're going to look at some interesting stuff. As always, the analysis is always on point. So before we get started, we're going to start with some administrative stuff. So just to help you guys, again, I need to show, for the benefit of those who have not watched the previous videos, that there is timestamps that I use on the videos. It works really well if you wanted to track charts. Okay, so let's talk about those timestamps. So this video is about 1 to 1.5 hours long. So not everybody is interested in all the pairs. So it does not, if you're not interested in all the pairs, you do not have to go and toggle around looking for specific pairs. So what I have done here is link each and every starting point of an analysis with timestamps. So if you're looking for Euro US dollar, you just go and click on the link and it will take you directly into the Euro US dollar analysis. So you don't have to go around looking for this. So as soon as this video is processed, normally 2 hours after I've uploaded it, the timestamps will be available. So that works really well. So also, if you wanted to track how the accuracy of these webinars, whether they actually work or not, somebody actually suggested a very good idea. He said, pick any 10 pairs and go and track them historically. Historically meaning all the previous webinars. So you can go 10 previous webinars, or you can go 20 or 30 previous webinars and track 10 pairs. So for example, you can go for pound CAD on each and every webinar. So this is my channel. You can go into my channel. So you go 10 webinars back, coming back, and just track that analysis. Because for example, if you're going this is October 2017. Okay, but before then I was not doing the timestamps. I think that I started doing the timestamps in December. So you can start from December. You can start from December and track one pair. Okay, so this is actually March, and then you go, for example, you'll go for pound CAD. I'm talking about pound CAD because we made over 2,000 pips on pound CAD in the last 2 to 2.5 weeks. So if you look at pound CAD and look at the analysis on pound CAD, EUROCAD, but basically almost every pair. So you can already see here, we were forecasting pound CAD downside when it takes this top. It has taken the top and now it's already 900 pips down. This was before it tagged. It went up, tagged, and then we're coming back down 100 pips. But before that, this was March. Around January, we were here. We kept on buying 900 pips up. So you don't have to take my word. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go and check this yourself. So this was the forecast: up, then down. Okay, right. So check it out. Take 10 pairs. If you've got time, check out all the pairs, and then you'll see how amazing this works. So it won't take your time, because for every video you just go specifically to the pair that you're looking for. All right, and then about the course, I think last week I actually made a mistake and said the course is the next course is going to be in July. No, the next course is going to be the second week of June. If I can just make sure of the dates here, it's going to be the 11th, from the 11th of June. All right, so the 11th of June is still about 3 weeks away. So if you join up now, the course is all recorded in videos. So when you join, you get those video recordings. So you don't have to wait for June to actually start learning. Immediately when you sign up, you add you to our premium group and you get the course material. Okay, so that's how we work. It's technology, you don't have to wait. All right, let's get started. So I'm planning to give you some kind of a tip with every webinar, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, with the Elliott Wave theory. So here's something, last week we discussed, 3 weeks ago, we talked about cycles and how this relates to the charts. So we spoke about this. We spoke about the sine waves, and the cosine waves. That's not what I want to discuss today. Today I want to just discuss in general what Fibonacci does and how the world is organized. So this is what we discussed 3 weeks ago. So every week I'm going to try and give you a 2-minute tip about some things that I am working on. Okay, so let's clear that for now. So let's just look at Fibonacci, but besides looking at Fibonacci, what if the world was just random? What if it was just random and everything was disorganized? It would be one big mess. Imagine if there was no system in the design of a human anatomy. Some people, can you just imagine what that will look like? Some people will have knees that are close to the trunk if there was no system. But why is it that everybody's knees is properly positioned around this area? And why is it everybody's neck is properly positioned from the tip of their head to this area? So if you go and check, you can go and do this exercise. Go and do this exercise. Go and measure your height, your standing height with your leg, with your hand fully stretched out. All right? Take your belly button as the midpoint. Take your belly button as the midpoint. You will find that with your hand stretched out to the top, your belly button is the center of your body. And that applies for any person. Doesn't matter how tall you are, doesn't matter how short you are. Okay? So you'll find that this applies consistently onto each and every person. Right, so if you go and measure from here, right at the tip of your toes, to your knees, you will find that that distance is 23% of the total length here. That applies for each and every person. You go and measure this distance and you divide it by the total length of your fully stretched out height. You'll find that that is 23%. Okay, so this is on Google. So you see here, if this is your midpoint, you'll find that to your head, if we had to extend here, it will be 61.8% from the tip here. If this is your 100% to your midpoint, you'll find that this is 60%. What is this 60%? 60% of this height is 61%. So you go and project this height here, you'll find where your head is supposed to be. Your head to your neck, 23%. From your shoulder to your midpoint, to your belly button, about 38%. This applies consistently to each and every human being. It doesn't matter what your height or your length is, and if your Fibonacci numbers do not align to this, then you are not exactly human, right? There's something wrong with you. But why am I talking about this? I'm trying to look here for these amazing things here. I want to look at this golden spiral of the Earth itself. This is the Americas, the North and the South America. If you look at this, look how accurate this fits into the golden spiral. I think you guys should know the golden spiral if you have studied Fibonacci. This fits snugly into the golden spiral. And I've shown this about a week ago as well, that this golden spirals applies to the human anatomy as well. That is so accurate. Look at the map of Africa as well. Do you see that everything is organized? Everything is organized. The map of Africa, snugly into the golden spiral. Not only that, even the ocean, the way they project or they intersect the Earth, it's all organized. Look at the water. It's organized into golden spiral, which means each and everything in life is organized. And this is just a tip of a lot of things that are organized in life. What then is our charts? If everything in life is organized, wouldn't our charts and the price and the way it moves be organized into certain patterns as well? So the reason why I'm talking about that is because we follow patterns. We keep talking about patterns. Why do we keep talking about patterns? Because the price does not move randomly. So this is why we try to follow patterns. We try to follow what the interbank market is doing. We are speculators. Okay, so Fibonacci is broad and it applies in every aspect, and we only apply it into the charts. So I've been doing a lot of studies. I've done a lot of Fibonacci adversity on when I was doing calculus, numerical methods, and all this Laplace transform stuff, but I've never really applied them in real life until I started trading Forex. And this is so amazing when you start relating the theory and the practical, obviously the practical as it relates to trading. So amazing. Okay, so let's get started, and we keep looking at our patterns. And the reason why it's so accurate is because the patterns don't change. I mean, a pattern means repeat. So these things keep repeating themselves. All right, so let's get started with the Euro US dollar and the dollar index correlation. So today I'm going to look at both. I'm going to look at both the dollar index and the Euro US dollar individually. All right, so what I have now is the correlation. So what we have been looking at, what have we been looking at so far? We've been looking at this pulsing move. We've been looking at this pulsing move up until this point. There was divergence here. That's why we had a move down. There was divergence here. That's why we had a move up. What are we expecting now? We're expecting to get this wave 4 and then wave 5 before we get a bigger correction AB. Okay. Similarly here, we're waiting to get a completion of this wave 4 and 5 before we get a bigger move AB. Okay, so it may not be clear with two charts like this. So normally what I'm trying to show you here is that there is a direct correlation between the two pairs. So let's look at the DXY first of all. Okay, so here's the DXY. Go back to one chart. All right, so I see some people are asking about the course. If you need information about the course, you just send me an email and you'll get all the details. So send me an email. The email will be on the description of the video. Okay, so we don't have a lot of time discussing the course. All right, so let's get back to the chart. So this is what we're looking at. So this is the daily chart. I'm not looking for Euro. I want to discuss DXY first before we go to Euro. So if I can just give you the higher time frame on the DXY and what we're looking at. So you'll see that when every week I come here and I look at this swing and I don't give you the overall picture. And this picture is not even complete because the cycle is analyzed from historical up until the current swing. Okay, so let us look at the current swing. On the daily, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at 1, 2, we're looking at 3, 4, and then 5. So we had divergence here, and then we're getting this move up to the upside. We were looking for this to give us one more down before we go up. So what is happening here is that we're getting 1, we're getting 2, we're getting 3, and then we're going to get a 4, we're going to get a 5. Okay? So what are we anticipating? We're expecting to build a wave 4 here. Let's go 4 hour. And then we focus on this swing. So you'll see that when I go to the lower time frame, going to the lower time frame is basically just zooming in. Then there's more detail on the labeling. So what we have here, we had a wave. You'll see on that wave 5, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, 3, 4, with a truncated 5th wave. And from there, we started the move up. Okay, from that move up, we've got wave 2. 1, 2, right? We've got wave 2, and now we have started in the lower degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Spoke about this last week that we're gonna build this. Last week we were here, and we said we are looking for this wave 4 before we get a move to the upside. We got the wave 4, and now we've got a move to the upside. Now it's a question of getting this wave 3. Let's get that off. Now it's a question of getting this wave 3 here. Has it completed? We'll see when we get here. The correction, no, that actually should be in yellow. That actually should be a wave 4 in yellow, like that. And then we get our 5 before we get a move down. So that's what we're looking for. So what are you looking for now? We're looking to get a corrective structure here for the move to the upside. Okay, so you've got an impulse, that's all you have. So to confirm upside, one more for wave 5, you need to get this corrective structure. All right, so that's what it looks like. And it looks exactly the same on Euro US dollar. Only that it's in the opposite direction. So similarly here, this is your wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, truncated 5th. And now you start a move down. From the move down, you've got 1, 2, 3. Correction. And then you start with the lower degree green. 1, 2, 3. Last week we were here. We wanted to get this wave 4. We got, and now we've completed the wave 5 in green. Now we're looking for wave 4. We don't know the structure that it will form, but we know that it's going to be a corrective structure before we get the last move to the downside. And then that will complete this whole swing. Once this swing is complete, we will be looking for this to complete an A. And then we get a deeper correction B like that. Okay, you see how we track this? We've been tracking it like this for the last 3 weeks, this move. So I'm actually expecting a bounce on all the US dollar pairs this week. If US dollar is the quoted pair, we're expecting a bounce to the upside. If it's the base pair, we're expecting a bounce to the downside. So you'll see how that goes when we do the analysis. Okay, so something that I showed you last week, getting back to how the charts are so organized. So if you look here, how this pattern started here, how this one started here, started exactly the same. We started with a move down. This was last year. During this wave 4, you'll see that this move started like this: 1, 2, 3, pull back in 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, and then the move comes down, V pattern, and then the direction changes. Okay, so after that, it did exactly the same with this move here. With this move here, let me highlight. With this move here as well. See, this is the one that I want to show you now. So similar thing happened here with 1, 2, 3, a pullback. This one is smaller, so you'll have 3 waves here, like that. What do you get after that? You get exactly the same, and a V pattern there. That's your V pattern. What happens after the V pattern? Direction changes. What is happening currently? Currently, we are looking at this one. Why this one moved all the way down. 1, 2, 3, pull back in 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. What do we expect? We expected a move to the downside and a V pattern of some sort here to change our direction. Why? Because that's how all the other pairs were behaving. So when we were up here, I think 2 months ago, we looked at this possibility. And this is all happening on the 4-hour chart. If you look on the weekly, I showed this last week as well. So for the benefit of those who do not watch all the videos, look at what happened on the weekly. So on the weekly, I'm going to do it right here at the bottom. So on the weekly, you get exactly the same scenario starting from 2008, 1, 2, 3. In this case, you get a 3-wave pullback like that. What do you get after that? You get a move to the downside. What do you get after that? You get a V pattern. What does the V pattern do? It changes direction. So this is why, if I just remove the price, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 patterns doing exactly the same thing. This is why I was saying prices are organized. They do not just move randomly. This is the kind of studies I'm doing, looking at these patterns that repeat themselves. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4 on one chart. Similar patterns happening. 1, 2, 3, pull back, down, V pattern, changing direction. 1, 2, 3, pull back in 3 waves, down, V pattern, and then it reverses. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3. When we were here, I expected to get this move. I had an alternative count for ups, for one more up before we come down. Everybody who's been watching the videos will know what the difference is between the two counts. Okay, so this is how amazing prices are organized as well. And you will see when we get to gold that there is a similar pattern that is happening, that has happened before, that we're looking at now. Okay, so that is Euro US dollar and the DXY. So what do I expect on Euro US dollar? You wait for that wave 4 that we looked at, a bounce. So we're expecting a bounce on all the pairs. You'll see all the Euro, all the US dollar pairs, we're expecting a bounce. So let's carry on with the rest. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, if I just show you the labeling there. Let's go daily, so it does not look cluttered. So pound US dollar, we've started a move to the downside. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a bounce. So we've made this move here. Let's give ourselves more space. Pound US dollar, we've made this 3-wave move. WXY. Okay, and now we're starting this move to the downside. Okay, how is this move to the downside going? We made a move here. It is making a V pattern now. We're expecting a bounce in 3 waves. Okay, similar to Euro US dollar, we're expecting a bounce for these two carry on with the move down. Okay, as much as this is a V pattern, it does not mean it's going to make a total reversal. I'm just expecting a bounce in 3 waves on this pair. Okay, so if anybody is interested in this, you can buy short term. If you are a short term trader, I normally, what I will do rather is to wait for this to give the full correction to complete here. And this correction can even do this, that, before it moves to the downside. Okay. All right, so wait for the bounce in that V pattern. If I go to the 4-hour, you'll see that that pattern is happening with nice divergence there. Okay, so this is what I'm indicating here. 1, 2, 3, I'm expecting this move. Okay, so risky move because it is against the trend. So that's what you need to wait for, short-term upside. All right, so US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, exactly what we said last week. Last week you were here, we said we're gonna go sideways. Exactly how it happened. If you go and check what I drew this exact annotation that I'm drawing right now, that's what's gonna happen. Why? Because this may do this for one more up, even come back and retest the top there. Right, so keep an eye on this one. I do not see an exact entry point for downside here. For downside, actually looks like it wants to come and take the top here. Wants to take the top here. So maybe take the top and come back with a move down. Remember, I said the US dollar pairs, if it's a base, a bounce to the downside. So this may bounce to the downside first, with the euros bouncing to the upside. Okay, so here you need to be careful if you're gonna buy a break of this, because up to this level, maybe the reversal making this pattern here. Okay, to make a bigger one. All right, nothing very clear at that stage, at this stage. US dollar CHF. Right, so US dollar CHF, if I go higher daily, if you go to the daily and show you the overall structure on this, show the labeling. I've drawn these lines a couple of weeks back. I'm still expecting this to correct. So with a bounce to the downside, with a bounce to the upside of Euro US dollar, this will be basically just correcting sideways for a move to the upside. Okay, so which means the US dollar is still strong going forward in all the pairs. Okay, so we'll wait for this correction to complete. Let's go look at it in the lower degree 4-hour. Okay, a lot can still happen here. This is very small. compared to the move that we've seen so far. So this is a 1, 2, 3 move. Could still do that, could even do that. So much can still happen here for this to be a deeper correction for upside. Okay, so we're looking for sideways on this move. So it's gonna go sideways for a while. So keep an eye for a couple of days on this one. I don't think we're gonna get a bounce anytime soon. Okay, and then the soon is relative, depends on how fast this plays out. We're on the 4-hour time frame, so that's why I'm expecting that this will give us a bit of a deeper correction. Okay, let's keep track. All right, so that's US dollar CHF, US dollar, Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, there's two alternatives here, and I'm going to show you both. That we looked at. And let's look at this last string. We're just looking at the last string, we're not looking at the whole historical chart. Okay, so don't let the numbers confuse you. So I'm going to take this off in yellow. So you will note that I'm using a different color for this intermediate degree than where I actually use the yellow color. Let me just change it. I actually use for yellow for this one. Let's make it yellow and show you what we are looking at. Yellow. Okay, so if this is WXY like that, that is 1, 2, 3 move. Okay, and if that is a 1, 2, 3 move, then this is a red degree, 1, 2, 3. So if we're gonna get progression to the downside, you need to get a yellow. So that yellow should do something like this: 1, 1, 2, 3 here. That means a bounce in X and a move to the downside, also in 3 waves. What will this be doing? If I switch this off here, what is essentially happening here is a move to the upside. It's a 3-wave move to the upside. As you can see, 1, 2, let me highlight. It's a 1, now I'm moving the wrong chart. Let's take this off. That's clear. Let's show you what we're looking at. So if this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3-wave move, right? And then here you've got a 1, 2, 3-wave move. 1 bounce, 3 like that. So what you have here is a move. I'm going to show it in blue. It's a 1, it's a 2. So this could give you this whole flat correction here. So how do you label this now? You label it, it's a 1, 2, 3 move, 1, 2, 3 in yellow. And then if we get here to the low degree, to the lowest low of the string, then we may get a bounce to come and complete this whole regular flat. So that's what we're looking at. So how is this? Is this playing out the way we want? There's a correction here that is happening. So if this is correcting, that is continuation for downside. So maybe a bounce before we come down. All right. So that is actually very clear at this stage. Okay, so just to show that labeling, so that's what we're looking at. The WXY, 3 waves up. 1, 2, 3 low degree. So this is what the degrees help you. You know that this is not a yellow degree and we are not going to go up from here. I can see that it's a lower degree and I still need it to be related to the other degrees. This is small. We need it to be bigger. Okay? And that, if it retests the top bottom here, that will be giving us a possible bigger regular flat or expanding flat. We don't know which one at this stage. But what we can see here, now we look at the point at this point here and see what is going on. Are we getting continuation to confirm our bias, or are we getting a bounce? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go 4 hour. Right, 4 hour. 4 hour looks like we're getting a bounce. We've got a pulsing move to the upside. Now we're getting this here. It's a different degree. One, this is correcting here. Possibly come and retest there. You may get a bounce here first before you come down, and then you get this one in yellow, like that. So that is the bounce in all the US dollar pairs where it is quoted. So that could only be a 3-wave pullback, making this structure here. If it's a 3-wave pullback, then our bias for downside will be valid. So we need to wait for this to build and complete this correction. In the meantime, you trade these short-term moves. Okay, that is Audi US dollar, New Zealand. New Zealand, you can see it's making a V pattern, wants to bounce to the upside as well. So if I just do this, let's go daily. So New Zealand wants to bounce up in 3 waves for this one. Okay, so we're looking at that bounce. So upside on all the US dollar pairs does not mean that we are ready for US dollar weakness. That would just be a correction. Okay, so that's the correction that we'll be looking at. When it completes, we take it to the downside. All right. That is New Zealand US dollar. US dollar ZAR. This is the only one that I do of the exotic pairs. All right, so this one we get, I can't remember the last time I got this one wrong, because we always so accurate with this pair. Somebody was sending me a chat that I did a video screenshot of this analysis last year, a year ago, and we were talking about 1150. We spoke about 1150 when this chart pair was still here. We knew that it was going to come down to this level because we were looking at the structure. All right. There's nothing wrong with other methods. It's just I think the Elliott wave method has got an advantage in that it can forecast more than just one move. You can forecast 5-6 moves ahead. You can forecast the whole cycle of a pair. And that is the advantage. Right, so what do you look at here? We looked at this as a 1, 2, 3 last week. I said, look for this one to complete this wave 4. Simple, that's what happened. Somebody sent me a screenshot of this, of that analysis, showing exactly what I did. Let me just check here. Send it on Telegram. Just want to see that screenshot. Just to show the accuracy of this. So they were very excited that they made money out of US dollar ZAR. This is not my group, by the way. So this is the screenshot that they sent. This is actually US dollar CAD. So if you remember what we said about US dollar CAD, it's exactly what has happened. A move up and a move down and a move up. Okay, so that's just one. It's another one. Okay, not here. It's too far. Okay, so I'm glad people are making money with this analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're expecting a correction. We're expecting a correction, right? Basically, this is a pulsing move. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a pulsing move. Let me go to the 4-hour. See what we're looking at here. It's a pulsing move. 1, correction. 3, correction. Okay, there's a possibility that this can make an expanding flat. This can make an expanding flat like that, or a running flat, and still make a wave 5. If this is not all the wave 4. So wave 4, there's a possibility for it to come here. Okay, so when it reverses, if it reverses here, it's not going to be a surprise. It will just be making a deeper wave 4. So if you've made your money here, better protect the profits or take half a position and trail the rest. Okay, so I'm not going to be taking any new trade here. just going to wait for a corrective structure that will indicate continuation. Okay, so that's US dollar ZAR. Let's do silver and gold before we do the yen pairs. Gold. So gold, if I go to the daily here, let's go daily. So before we started, somebody was saying gold buy. So I'm saying not so fast. All right, so this is the gold chart. Just to show you historically, they were looking at this move here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside, and this whole thing as a corrective structure. And I'm going to specifically look at this one here. Okay, let's switch off here. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at this as a 1, as a 2, as a 3-wave move. So I'm looking for this to, I was looking for this to give us this move. So I said last week, the only reason why this will not give us this upside here is if this has truncated Y here like that. So that will make sure, that will mean that the Y has failed to break the top of W. That would have truncated. So instead of the Y being here, then the Y will locate here. So you will see that there's a possibility for both these scenarios to happen. Because if you look here, this is why I was saying when you look at gold, we're going to talk about this. Look at this structure here. 1, 2, 3, pull back, and then we just got the down. Similarly here, 1, 2, 3, pull back, and then the down here. Okay, so what could be happening here, there's a buy setup here at the bottom. We'll look at it. That buy setup could just be this pullback before we get this move to the downside. In any case, we're looking for this downside. We just wanted it to come after we've come to the top and completed this sequence here. But this sequence may not complete if it truncates. Unfortunately, truncation does not give you a warning. What will this do? Remember, this is your 5-year. Then that will be W, this will be an X, and then you'll get another Y. Let's do that. And that Y will be this structure, like that. It will be this W, it will be this X, like that. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So this bounce here in gold, like we said, all the pairs with the US dollar as the quoted will bounce to the upside. So this bounce here, there is a bounce, there's a indication for a buy setup. Let's go and look at it in the 4-hour, right at the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna go 1 hour even. You can see that we've already have a convincing impulse out of the V pattern on the 4-hour. Okay, so if we get a correction here on the 1 hour, you can take it short term like that. Just be careful that this may not be the one that goes. So you need to protect your profits as soon as you've got a length that is equal to this. When you get to this point, you protect your profits. Okay? Or not profits, you rather move to break even. Okay, let's go 1 hour. You'll see it's even more, the impulse is even more convincing on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, you've got an impulse and the correction has already started here. You take this to the upside. Okay? It may even go up to that level, but that is not the one that's going to go. If it does that, we're going to get something like that. Okay, that's not the one that's going to go. That is a bounce. I'm just expecting bounces in all the US dollar pairs. Okay, V pattern, you definitely have divergence there. You can see you've got divergence. This is going down, but this is going up. Okay, okay, so that is gold. I think we spoke about the divergence on pound US dollar as well. So just make note of that. We still have to do silver now. I'm just showing this in case I did not show you the divergence on pound US dollar for that bounce as well. Okay, similar structure at the bottom. So now silver. If you go to the daily, so the theme is we're expecting bounces to the upside. So here you've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be expecting this short move to this level. Okay, that move may just be making this three-wave structure for further downside here. So let's see how this one plays out. It's very corrective at this stage. Not a clear buy setup like you have on gold. Okay, but we will expect a move up because of correlation. All right, that is silver. And now looking at the yen pairs. Yen pairs, US dollar, JPY. As always, we've been tracking this like that, like that. We forecasted the 104 here, we've got, and now we are already almost 600 pips to the upside. Okay, how is this move? How do we now track this move? What is it doing? So let's go to the 4-hour and check that move and how it's playing out so far. So this is the reason why you will track this for months, because when it starts playing out, you get a very good trade. So master the corrections, because after corrections comes the big moves, especially these corrections that take forever. So if you just look at the labeling here, notice something very interesting here on this pair. This pair started with divergent, with a leading diagonal. Started with a leading diagonal here, 1, 2, and now we still have to locate our 3 in yellow. Is still far. Okay, we have not located it yet. So, which means here I'm still expecting US dollar JPY for upside. So I need correction. So while the euros are bouncing to the upside, I'm expecting the correction here. So it should be some sort of a pullback, or yes, a pullback on this one. Okay, so clearly here internally after these two, you started with another leading diagonal. You see it clearer on the 1 hour time frame. If I just go 1 hour to show you that that diagonal after the 2, starting that move, and this one is an expanding diagonal. See, very clear, very clear. We start the move with a 1 correction, running flat, and then we start with the move to the upside. So this is a clear impulsive move that checks all the boxes. All right, we're actually trying to figure this one out during the daily webinar last week, because we've got rules and we do not just locate a wave 3, we locate it based on the fib rules. Okay, we want our wave 3 to come at least to that point before we start getting a correction, a deeper correction in wave 4 like that. Okay, so that is US dollar JPY. Expect a correction here. So this move down does not mean reversal, it can just be a pullback. Okay, so unfortunately you just have to wait there. If you're a short-term trader, there's an impulsive move to the downside. You can take a short trade here when this corrective structure completes here for a move like that. Just be careful, take profits quickly, because this could be the move that is forming here before we go. All right. Okay. Right, so that is US dollar JPY, EURJPY. Euro, look out for this correction here. I'm going to go higher time frame, look out for this to complete for downside. Okay, so with US dollar JPY pulling to the downside, expect this one to pull to the downside as well. And here's the reason why all this is playing out as analyzed. One of very complex structures. Right. So what are we anticipating here? We're anticipating this X to complete here for a move down. What is this X? It is this one here. Okay. Here you've got a WXY, you've got a three-wave move here. 1, 2, 3. First switch off. See, that's what we're looking at. 1, 2, like that. So this is that correction that we're trying to build on this side as well for a move to the upside as well. So that's how we're looking at this structure. And if you didn't take a screenshot last week of the labeling, you can do it now. Okay, let's go 4 hour again and look at this correction here. Right, so this correction may still take some time. But here is a trade at least to this level. And this can all be the X move here. Don't be surprised when we get to this level and we get a bounce. That will just be making this flat and we'll still have our move to the downside. This one is very clear. All right, so that's EURJPY, CHYJPY. So notice something between Swiss and EURJPY. So that move, that correction that we're trying to build on EURJPY is this one here. So that one is only just coming here to that level. It has not broken this level yet. This one has already broken and now reversing. So EURJPY may still break because this one has already broken in terms of correlation. But here we've got an impulse. So wait for a correction here. So this correction may come with a move down on euro. They're all coming down, but not necessarily making the same structure. So that is how correlation works. They may be making the same moves, but not necessarily building the same structures. This one has already been built and moved to the downside. EURJPY is still busy with this structure. So here, while EURJPY is making the move here, while EURJPY is making this move, this one may be making this correction. All right, so wait for that corrective structure here. So after that, you'll get a move to the upside. Okay, so that's CHF and Euro, AUDJPY. AUDJPY, I'm expecting a correction here for a further move to this level. Okay. I'm not going to show the whole structure, just wait for a correction here. Possible break here, make this a three-wave structure like that. That's what you should look out for. CADCHF. Right, CADCHF. Last week I said there's a 10 lot size trade that you need to take on this correction. This one moved, I think about 100 pips with the news, but it has now reversed all that move. So you can take a break-even trade there until it corrects again here for another move to the upside. Okay, so we wanted a move similar in size as this one. So this was my forecast. I wanted it to get to this level, so it missed it by a few pips, but that's fine. That happens in trading. Okay, so we've got a clear impulse, clear correction, and now we're getting this. So this may be another three-wave move that will give us this whole structure like that. So this makes sense with the US dollar JPY making a correction for a further move to the upside. All right, New Zealand. So New Zealand, still expecting a further move to the downside. This to correct here. So New Zealand may still have some long-term correction here. May still make this structure here, one down, and carry on up with the rest of the yen pairs. That is how the structure looks. So look out for a correction here. Pull back, one more down before we go up. Okay, we'll update this one next week. All we have to do with this one is wait for the structure that will form here. That's New Zealand. I think that concludes all the yen pairs. Now we look at pound yen. Okay, So pound yen, we're looking at the overall structure like this. As a W is a X and then it's a Y, and that Y looking like this here. And here you're ending the Y with a diagonal like that. So we've got this reversal 1, 2, 3 here. Last week we said we are building this correction. I showed 2 scenarios of this correction. And somebody asked a very good question. So if there's 2 scenarios, how are you going to trade it? And I said it doesn't matter, because once the correction is complete, we will know what to do. And now the correction has completed. Second option was for this to come and break the top here, which it has now broken, and now it's coming down. So now we know what to do. We've got more information. We've got more data that we can trade. So what do we look at now? If we're looking on the 1 hour, look out for this corrective structure. Look out for this corrective structure for downside. Okay. If we're going down, the target is this one. All right. So that's pound yen. Now let's look at the pound pairs now. If you look at the pound pairs, have we completed all the yen pairs? I think we've done all the yen pairs, and now we'll do the rest of the pound pairs. If I missed any, please let me know. All right, start with pound chief. Let's go daily. Pound chief, clear structure. At this stage, you've got a swing high to swing low coming down here, ending here, and this is starting a correction like this. One corrective structure there, and now this is your C wave. All right, so the question is whether this is a running flat here in the middle that makes this a 1, 2, 3. And then if that is the case, we may be getting here a 1, 2, 3 pullback here in red, maybe another one for progression to the upside in 3 waves. Okay, so that is just one possibility there. If you remember, I am actually comparing pound Swiss with New Zealand US dollar. There's a similar structure between the 2 pairs. Not that there's correlation, it's just the structure that is similar, that is busy building. So maybe I can just show you quickly that structure. Let's do that and show you what has happened with New Zealand US dollar. The nice thing is when you compare this, you find the structure that has played out exactly and that has completed. This one is incomplete, so let's look at how New Zealand US dollar played out. So if I go in New Zealand US dollar on the daily, you'll see that right at the bottom here, this is doing exactly what, okay, this is pound US dollar. I need New Zealand US dollar on the right and pound Swiss on the left. Right, remember pound Swiss, we had a move, we had a correction in 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, like that. Similarly here on New Zealand, we had a move up, correction in 3 waves, amazing stuff, 1, 2, 3, like that. And now this one has already made a move up and has made this, has gone up very correctively. Similar here, this one has made a move up and has gone up very correctively. Okay, we had this move to the downside. This is New Zealand now. We had this pullback. You also had this pullback here, and after that pullback, you got the sharp move to the upside. You also got the sharp move to the upside. After the sharp move to the upside, we get a pullback here. Now you're getting a pullback here. Right, so if I'm getting a pullback here, that's why I'm expecting one more up here, because New Zealand has made this one up. And if this one making this one more up, then we'll be expecting a reversal, because that is what New Zealand US dollar has done. Okay, if you look here, New Zealand US dollar has then now reversed from there. So this is amazing. There's no relationship between the two pairs. This is New Zealand and US dollar. This is pound and Swiss. No relationship in terms of correlation, but the structure that is building up is exactly the same. And while we're looking at the structure, the sequence on pound CHF needs to relate to the structure that we are expecting. So if we switch off there, switch on there, that is the structure. We are expecting one more up to complete the Y as well. We're expecting, this is the one up that we're looking at to complete that Y. Okay, I hope that is clear. All right, so that's how we trade similarities as well. Right, go back to one chart. That was pound CHF that we looked at. Now we look at pound CAD. So again, look at patterns, how amazing patterns are. Pound CAD, we compare with pound AUD. Let's do the same thing again. Okay, but here there is correlation. Okay, on the left-hand side, I've got pound CAD. And this is one of the pairs that has been very accurate in terms of the analysis. Right-hand side, I've got pound AUD. Both on the daily. Right, so this is what we looked at. Swing high to swing low. Okay, after the swing high, swing low, we had a three-wave pullback. This is on pound CAD now. 1, 2, 3. So as it was going up here, I said I am looking for a reversal when it takes this top and into this blue box. Okay, the blue box magic. But because I had already seen the similar move on pound AUD last year. This is happening this year now, currently. I've seen this move last year on pound AUD. Okay, so I expected this to reverse. That is why this one has now reversed. Where do I expect this one to go? I'm expecting it to come back to this level. Why? Because this one, after reversing here, it has already, this move that I'm anticipating on the left-hand side has already played out like that. It has even made a Gartley pattern, which we traded for a lot of pips. If we look at it at this year, with that pattern, you'll see that there's this pattern here, Gartley pattern here, which we traded for many pips to the upside, up to this level. Okay, so don't be surprised if you get here as well, a bounce to the upside. That's why I'm expecting a bounce and then a move to the downside. Similarities. Okay, so when you trade with this knowledge, you trade with confidence. Okay, so now what you're doing is just copying what is happening on the right to the left-hand side. But as I said, the structure on the left-hand side, the sequence on the left-hand side must confirm what is happening, what has already played out here. So let's go to the left-hand side on pound CAD, look at one chart. Do we have that confirmation? I'm going to go here. We are getting this corrective structure here. So that is confirming that we're going to get this bounce, this move to the downside. So let's go one chart and just look at that one. Okay, we haven't got this move yet. We are expecting that we're going to get a bit of a bounce, corrective bounce here to complete the move to the downside. Okay, amazing stuff. Patterns, that's how we trade patterns. Okay, so that is pound CAD. Now we'll look at pound AUD alone. Okay, pound AUD has already made this. It has already made this move out to the upside. So what are we looking at on pound AUD? We are looking for this to correct here. Looking for this correction here. If it corrects, we're going down. Okay, so let's look on the 4-hour and check that correction. It's clear. Okay, so we've got that. Let's do that in yellow. We've got that move up. Now we're getting this in red, impulse. 1, 2, 3, possible something like that. Move like that. A possible running flat before we carry on with the move down. So last week I showed you how a move like this can just make a downside. Let me show you again here. Again, similarities. Similarities again. Look at this here. Then we just go down. Look at this again. And then you just go down. Exactly the same. So don't be surprised. We've seen it happen before. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So that's what happens when you spend a lot of time with the charts. You start seeing these things. All right. So that's pound AUD. So what do you expect on pound AUD? You need to wait for this to complete. This is not clear. It needs to complete the structure if you're going to take it down. All right. So that's pound AUD, pound CAD, pound CHF. We've done pound in New Zealand. Pound New Zealand. I've been wanting pound New Zealand to retest this top here. Okay, we're on the 4 hour. If you look at pound New Zealand, I've been wanting this one to test this top here. Will it do that? Let me switch off here. This is the swing high. And we had a 3-wave move down. Like that. And now we're getting this move, complex move to the upside. And there's 2 ways to look at this. Whether this is a 1-2 first structure, X, and then we're gonna make another one like that. But this one here could be the one that retests the top here. But this one looks a little bit small. So there's a possibility that, and both of them have got the same bias, there's a possibility that this is actually 1, this is 1, this is 2, and this 3, this is 3 here. This is 3 here, and this 3 is in 3 waves. Okay, and if this is the 3 here, it means that you would have this one doing something like this here, like that. So I'm actually wrong, sorry. Actually wrong here. Let's do it properly. Your 3-wave move will be something like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is your first move, and this is your corrective move here in the middle. So which will be your X. So this will be your W, that will be your X, that will be your Y. Okay, so this one is the one that we want to test the top. So there's a very strong possibility for this one to test the top. And if it does test the top here, we're expecting a move, this move here in red, 1, this one here. We'll be expecting it there if we test the top. Okay, unless something changes and we start to move to the downside from there, then we'll update it accordingly. All right, that is pound New Zealand. I think we're done with all the pound pairs. Now we can start with the euro pairs, and we'll start with euro pound. Okay, euro pound, go daily. So euro pound, if you just see the levels there, I'm expecting a move to the upside to complete this corrective structure here. Okay, this corrective structure looks something like this, 1, 2, 3. So I'm anticipating that one to be completed before we get a move to the downside. Okay, so let us go and look at this corrective structure. We've been looking at it for the last couple of weeks. So let's go 4 hour and look at that corrective structure. Okay, so that corrective structure, you've got to move down. Let's do it in yellow. You've got to move down, and the correction starts like this. You've got 1, 2, 3, and you've got 1, 2, 3, and now we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, and that will make a WXY before we get a move to the downside. So this may even come and test the previous high here before we go down for this with this move here. Okay, so that's how you label this in lower degrees. So I didn't put on the degrees there. I can do it now quickly. That is WXY that we're expecting there. Let's clear all that and just change quickly. Minor degree. Easy, quick. So that's what we have. First correction, X, and then the last one here, a bounce to the upside. That's how we're going to be looking at that one. And Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand is quite interesting. Interesting in that it's got a number of ways that it can play out. Okay, so we've got here the swing high located there. Let me switch off here. So all those labelings that I have are just labeling the structures that I'm showing you here. So you've got, after the last swing high here, a three-wave move. And here you are getting what looks like a three-wave move to the upside and this correction here to the sideways. And then you get this move like that. Okay. So if this is the case, are we getting a move to the downside here? Is the move to the downside that we're looking for, which is this one? Has it started? Does not look like it has quite started. Show the labeling here. See what we're looking at. So there's a possibility for this green degree. Pulse 1, 2, 3. It is making this corrective structure for a move to the upside. So this whole move here is an A, and we are making this big B correction. So what do I mean by there's two ways to look at this? And either way, it is not going to change the bias, because what I'm seeing here is also that this W could actually be here. And if W is there, it means this is a simply three-wave move like that, and we'll expect it to complete there. And that's why we've got a correction there. So let me switch off the labeling so it does not get confusing. So the question is whether this is the whole correction here, or whether the correction is only this one making a zigzag. Okay. Either way, does not change the structure. When we get here, we'll be looking for a bounce to the upside. Okay. So we're looking at that Euro New Zealand, Euro AUD. So there's a bit of difference in terms of the correlation in the way these structures are moving on the Euro pairs. So Euro AUD, we were looking for it to keep going higher and higher, but it made an interesting structure, interesting in that it is now very clear. It is making a textbook leading diagonal. See, if you check here, you've got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got a 3, you've got a 4, you've got a 5. That presses against this trend line. We expect it of a leading diagonal, and now we're getting a move to the downside. So if we're getting a move to the downside, we could be making a wave 2 here. And if that is wave 2, we'll expect something like that. So if we get a correction here, we'll take this move to the downside. This is a daily structure, so this is quite a significant move to the downside. So let's look how this is playing out in the lower degree. Let's go 4 hour. So 4 hour, you've got a corrective flag that is happening on the trend line. Remember, we do not trade trend lines. We use them to show if price is now out of the structures. So you're getting this corrective structure here. All right. So if this plays out here, we're taking it down for that wave 2. Okay. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So just give me 1 second. I just want to answer this phone. It's a very urgent call. I'm going to pause the recording. All right, so let's carry on. Apologies about that. Let's get going. All right, so that is Euro AUD. You'll be looking for a continuation pattern there. All right, and then EURCAD. We've made a lot of money with this pair. If you go daily, similar to pound CAD, easy money here. Because this structure is so clear. Not clear because it's got a lot of letters, but because the structure is very clear. Let's switch off the labeling. 1, 2, 3, that's what we were looking at, and we were looking for this to complete a 1, 2. So when we were here, we were looking for this to come and take. Initially, when we were here, we wanted it to take this top here. It takes the top, but it does not go back. It actually makes this corrective structure. So from here, we were looking at this next top here. And not that it is a support zone or anything like that, no. It's because that is where the structure completes. Okay, there are a lot of support or resistance zones that don't work. Nothing wrong with the strategy. It's just that you need to know what you're looking at. So here we made this 900 pips to the upside, 1,000 pips to the upside from here. 1,000 pips, as you can see, and now we're making the 1,000 pips to the downside, 1,060, because we expected that this will complete the structure like that. Let's do this. What is the structure? This structure here. It takes, and now we're coming back down with a strong impulse. I'm looking for this to come back down here. So, but it does not go in a straight line. This can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, or it can be a 3-wave structure. Either way, it will relate to the structure. Okay, some point you need to get a bounce or keeps continuation. Why do I say a 3-wave structure or an impulse? Because if you're looking at a flat correction, it's a 3, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then that will be an ABC move. And if you're looking at a structure like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that would be a WXY move. Either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We know what this is building. Okay. Bias is to the downside. Right, so let's go 4 hour and see how this is playing out. It's going down in 3 waves, so we expect that we're going to get a deeper correction in wave X for further down. So wait for a correction here. Okay. That's EURCAD, EURCHF. EURCHF, I wanted it to get one more up before it goes up. One more up before it came down. If you look at my chart last week, I had let's do this. If you look at my chart last week on the webinar, I had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and I had 5 there. Because I was looking at this as a wave 4 in the lower degree, but it has now reversed from that area, so that's fine. So we just need to get a corrective structure here for an ABC move. Looks like you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 truncated fifth, and now you're getting an ABC move here. Easy. Okay. Right. So this we've been riding this one from this level. If you go look at the webinar from the first week of March, you'll see that we forecasted that we're gonna get all of this move. Okay, go and look and you'll see exactly that before this happened here, I said we are going all the way. And my target was only here though, not this piece here. All right, very accurate analysis. All right, I think that concludes all the Euro pairs. I don't think I missed any Euro pairs, so we can look at some of the CAD pairs here. AUDCAD. Look out for AUDCAD. It has made a 3-wave move up. If there's going to be any reversal here, if you remember the last couple of days, go and check. Couple of weeks, we were looking for this to come and take the top. Look how significant these areas are. So that is what wave theory shows you. You know the significant areas. Okay, this is a significant area. Significant areas are areas where structures complete, where you've got your fibs, fib lines as well. Right, so you've got a reversal here in 3 waves. Does not mean anything until you get a corrective structure like that. Why do I say it doesn't mean anything? Because that can simply be a 3-wave pullback for further downside. So be careful of just buying it here and thinking that it has reversed. Okay, so you need to wait for this to give you a 3-wave pullback as well. Then you'll confirm that you're getting at least a move this size. Even this can still reverse. Okay, but you take it from there. When you get to the length similar to this one, you move it to break even. If it's going to take you out and do a bigger one, then you're out for no loss. All right, so that's AUDCAD, Audi New Zealand. This one is a very complex but very clear structure. Okay, we're actually trading this Gartley pattern here. And as I always say, we do not trade harmonic patterns in isolation. We trade them with a structure. I'm going to show you the structure and the sequence just now. Gartley, that's your Gartley. That is reversed exactly on the 88. So we've been riding this one from right at the bottom. So you see here, right on the 88, not a pip lower, not a pip higher. Right on the 88, you get your reversal. What are we getting here? We're expecting now a corrective structure here. Why do we expect a corrective structure? So let's go to the sequence. And our target here is somewhere up here. So we're still going to ride it for some time. Right, so that is the 4-hour. The daily will look something like this. People are very quiet today. I feel like I'm talking by myself. You guys there? All right, so I need to show that labeling. I'm going to take off the pattern here. Just look at the sequence and take off the fibs there. Thanks, Harry. Good to know you're still here. All right, so we've got this swing starts from right at the top in an impulsive move. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. And then it corrects with a sharp, starts correction with a sharp A move here. So this A move is looking something like this. If we do it in red, we get a 1, 2, 3 there. Possibility of another 1, 2, 3 there, like that. And another one like this. Let's do a different color. This is where we are now. And this is the reason why we're looking at this structure. This red doing something like this. Come back there for this one before we go to the upside. You see how complex this one is. And then we'll be expecting that we get a 1, 2, 3 move down before we get there. Last yellow up. So if I just switch off the labeling here, you'll see that that is the structure. And that is W. These are the type of structures that when you understand, you know that you understand the Elliott wave theory. WXY, A, B, C. All right. All right, so that's how we look, how this will look. Very complex structure, but we understand what is going on. That is why we bought, that is where your Gartley pattern is. Your Gartley pattern is somewhere here. It is just falling within the sequence. So that is why we're buying it for this move here. Okay, so when we're done with this move, we know what the next move is going to be because we understand the structure. Okay, so not that we know it 100%, but we can focus it with very reasonable accuracy. Okay, so that is what happens when you understand the structure. So because some of you are only looking for the trades when you come here on Saturdays and you don't understand the structure, you may lose money, but this is what I just show you. Wait for continuation. Wait for continuation. All right, so that's Audi New Zealand. All right, so I think we can go to the indices now. CADCHF is another one where we are trading the pattern, the Gartley pattern. And look how interesting this one is. When you understand structure, you trade with confidence. Look how interesting this one is. So what you have here, you've got this swing high to swing low coming from right at the top. And this structure is so complex, a beginner will not know where to start. Let me do this. How do you begin to label this? And this is where my specialty is. This is what I have mastered, these corrections that are complex. Typically, when I started learning the wave theory and then I found something like this on the chart, I just left the Elliott wave theory altogether. Okay? And I'll just focus on something else. I'll go to harmonic patterns because they're simpler. But let's look what this structure actually looks like. The structure actually looks like something like this. It's a 1, 2, 3 move. It's a 1, 2, 3 move. It's a 1, 2. Why did we buy here with this pattern? Because we're expecting this 3 move. Let me take it off and use the yellow. It is this 1, 2, 3 move. This is why we bought it right here. Okay, we don't just buy because there's a Gartley pattern here, there's a bad pattern here, because it follows the structure. So if we switch everything off here, you'll see that the sequence is W, X, Y. And we're expecting here to still push one more up because you've got the sequence. All right. Okay, so that is how this one looks now. It's correcting here at the top. You need to be careful now because we're reaching the end here of the sequence. So don't just jump in there. Let's look at the indices. S&P 500. So S&P 500, the lines that I had last week still have not changed. Nothing has changed. If you look at my forecast from last week, I'm still expecting, we had this move to the downside, and I'm expecting this move here. You had a passing move there. You had a passing move there, and now you're getting this red degree here doing this. And this could come. We're correcting here. We want to come and test this top here. And then from there, this may come back down here for this one. Come and complete that X before we get a move to the downside like that. So still very corrective on S&P 500 and the rest of the indexes. So if we just go to the 1 hour time frame, not the 1 hour, the 4 hour, you'll see that we're correcting here, indicating continuation to the upside. Okay, so it's actually clearer here. So this line, I had them last week, nothing has changed. I'm still expecting this to push higher. Let's go 1 hour and see if there's anything clearer. Still correcting in the 1 hour as well. So you see, as it goes to the lower time frame, it becomes even more complex. It can even do that, giving you this correction for this one to come and test that top. Okay, so we're still sideways here, but sideways for upside. And that's what it looks like for the rest of the indices. I will look at New Zealand CAD, Harry Tapiwa. I see I missed it, thank you. Okay, so let's look at that. Similarly here, same structure, correction here for this to come and retest this top here. All right. This move next week. Next week, you're looking for this move. All right. Okay, so now this is the NASDAQ. Actually, I've got a chart that is clearer on the NASDAQ from OANDA's broker. So here you can see that we want to test the top here. It may come back for one before it goes up. Okay, That is the NASDAQ. Okay, and looking at the Nikkei, Nikkei and the UK 500. I think I missed the UK 500. Last week we were, I think we were here, around here last week, around the 11th of May, and we were making this correction. This is what you got. Then that's what we expected. We said we're going to get a move to the upside. Okay, let's see if there's any kind of divergence. No indication of downside, so we still look for continuation. Very short moves. You still look for continuations to the upside. That is the Nikkei, the DAX, or the FTSE first. Let's look at the FTSE. That is the UK 500, UK 100. Similar, very risky at this stage because we have now reached the extremes. But if you're gonna get in here for upside, take quick profits here. Okay, it's now moving very slowly. It is now moving very slowly, so we could be reversing soon here. There's strong, very strong divergence on the pair. Very strong divergence. Okay, but we're gonna have one more up here. Okay, and if I just show the higher time frame structure, we've got this one almost coming back to the previous top here at this level. Okay, so this one can just do that before it comes down. All right, and then the Nikkei, did we look at the Nikkei? Similar structure as the UK 100. Okay, so one more up before we get reversal. We've got an A, B, C with a V pattern here. So we got all of this move. Okay, if you trade indices, it's time to protect your profits now. This one is only at 61%, but as you've seen, the FTSE is at this top here. So we may get a pullback or a complete reversal from that area. Okay, so not very good for buys at this stage. All right, and case that is the Nikkei, the DAX we've done. Somebody has asked for the NIFTY. I should actually put it on my watch list. The NIFTY will be similar. You can see the NIFTY has already started reversal. You had a 1, 2, 3 move to the downside. See here, we've already started the reversal. So we may start getting these moves going back. So wait for a correction in the 1 hour for a move to this level at least. Okay, so the NIFTY is ahead in terms of the move here. So you have an impulse here. Wait for a corrective structure here. Okay. It is actually a similar move as the UK 100. Okay. I will do New Zealand CAD after looking at the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so 2 ways to look at the cryptocurrencies here. Let's switch off all of this. If you have been following, you would have, if you like, trading the cryptocurrencies, you would have bought Bitcoin here when it broke out of here, because we were looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, and I was looking at this to come and do this 1, 2, 3 to come and retest the top here. But we know that the market does not move in a straight line, so that's fine. So what could be happening here is that you still have this one passing to the upside, but in this degree could be giving us this one here. This one here that will come and retest the bottom here, and you get another one. The structure will still be the same, it's more sideways. Okay, initially the structure, what we were looking at, we were looking for this one to just give us 1, 2, 3 like that. So this does not change anything. if we get to this level here, from here, I'll still be expecting big downside on the cryptocurrencies, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, that the cryptocurrencies are still corrective and correcting for further downside. This move, I will expect this move, similar move to this one, going all the way back. All right. So now what you have here, you may be getting a bounce here. You're getting a V pattern. V pattern may just be giving you a 3-wave bounce. Okay. That's the next immediate move that you can look at on Bitcoin. Litecoin, similar. Litecoin, also look out for this V pattern that is playing out here. You're going to get a 3-wave bounce. That bounce does not mean reversal. It's just a 3-wave bounce, and you can still get to the downside. Ethereum. Ethereum has made this 3-wave pullback. Can do this one here, tag here before it makes this one. Okay, so look out for a bit of a push higher before a move down. Okay, that's Ethereum. Ripple. Oh yes, we missed oil. All right, thank you. All right. Ripple, you get a corrective flag there. May come back to that level. 1, 2, 3 for further move down. So this is a sideways correction here on Ripple. So you've got this flag showing you downside here, but that may just reverse there. That whole thing may just be a 3-wave move, and another 3-wave move to the upside, making this a sideways correction for further downside. Okay, so let us look at oil and CAD. Thanks for that, guys. I had missed this too. So oil is making a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, pulsing structure. Like that. So if you look at this here, we had a pulsing move, which was a 1, and we had this, let's switch off the labeling, and we had this running flat here. And we got all of this move. That is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like this is now a 3, a 4, and then a 5. And then from there, we're going to expect a pullback at some point. Okay, so if that is a wave 5, we need to see divergence between 3 and 5 for a corrective structure. Let's see if there is any kind of divergence. There is very strong divergence. There is the divergence. So at some point, this one, as much as it's still going up, it can actually get a pullback. Get a pullback because you get that strong divergence there. That is oil. Okay, and then New Zealand CAD, lastly. Lastly, New Zealand CAD. So looks like all the pairs with the CAD as the quoted pair have made a reversal. Okay, here I'm seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got a pulsing move to the upside on the daily. I'm going to wait for the correction and expect a similar move as I've got here. Let's go 1 hour, 4 hour rather. So look for correction and a short upside move on CAD. Okay, you've got the pulsing move. I'm sure it came with divergence, you can see there. See that the rules always apply. You must have divergence between 3 and 5. You've got divergence here as well. All right, so this is your wave 5 here now. this is your wave 5 here now, and you've got an impulsive move to the upside here. Divergence, divergence. Okay, just wait for correction and take a move this size first. Okay. All right, thank you very much for joining me today. That's all I had for you this week, and good luck for the week ahead. Please like and subscribe on the videos. Thank you for your support. Keep watching. Cheers.